Welcome to another unscripted commentary video, or unedited. None of my videos are scripted, for your knowledge. I felt like making another one of these low effort videos today, just to give you some of the insane schizophrenic thoughts rattling around in my head, and something that I've been thinking about, or something that I was just thinking about right now while I was walking outside, is this insane brain dead cope you see on Twitter or X or whatever other retarded name you like to call that website, which is that, if you disagree with their opinions on the newest Goyslop movie or video game or whatever other media they personally enjoy, they like to accuse you, someone who dares to have a unique individual opinion of something, they accuse you of just trying to be different, right? And I've seen this on Twitter. I was looking up, I was looking at some tweets about the newest Deadpool movie. And if you watched my last video, which you probably haven't if you're watching this because it has one view so far, but if you are a true legend and you've actually watched the video, then you would know that yesterday I went to see the movie and I personally didn't like it. I talked for like 20 minutes, rambling on about my criticisms of the film. I feel like my criticism of the newest Deadpool movie, I think it was pretty justifiable, all things considered. I think the movie was just unfunny. It had bad CGI. The action wasn't really as good as I wanted it to be. And worst of all is that you hear those fucking locusts? Worst of all is that I feel like the movie was really just nostalgia bait, which is what most movies nowadays really are. So I guess it's not really that much of a unique criticism of this movie in particular, but I felt like it relied so much on like nostalgia towards the old X-Men movies that people actually enjoyed. That didn't just call back to the previous films that were actually good on their own, from the 2000s and early 2010s even. Those films, it was just a huge member berry. It's like, do you remember Hugh Jackman from Wolverine? Do you remember Blade? Do you remember this, that, and the other? I just thought it wasn't a good movie, basically. It just to summarize my thoughts. And I saw this tweet from this Twitter like movie news bot account or whatever. They're a dime a dozen on that website. So I went on one of those tweets. I went on one of those, and I went into the reply section, which is the worst thing you can do on Twitter, is actually read what people have to say on the website dedicated to reading what people have to say on things. So I was reading what people had to say, regarding the film reaching $1 billion in the box office, which, to give my opinion on that right before I actually get to the meat and potatoes of this autistic meltdown of a YouTube video. I understand like why this film has that much money. Basically, as long as you have like I don't know, if you have Spider-Man in the fucking movie, you'll get $1 billion. As long as you have a recognizable IP, usually that people care about at the very least, that have good, strong fan bases, like Marvel or Star Wars, you'll make a shit zillion dollars. And people like X-Men, people love X-Men, and they love Deadpool. So with that, and the crossover of it being a Marvel Cinematic Universe film, and of course it being the first Marvel Cinematic film MCU movie that features not only any of the X-Men characters, at least to my knowledge, but the beloved characters of Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I completely understand why so many people went to watch the film. I don't understand why so many people like the film. If you go on IMDb, it is last time I checked, like an 8 out of 10, which it certainly does not deserve. But I understand why so many people went to see it. All right, so I understand that. But I went into the replies, and instead of seeing like a discussion, like what Twitter is for, discussing things, I saw just people glazing this film. Glazing. I bet there was a little bit of literal gazing here too. Glazing. A little bit of literal gazing. I keep saying it incorrectly. Literal glazing of Deadpool and Wolverine. I saw a lot of gay stuff. Okay, and that's an inevitable fact on the internet. You will always see gay stuff. If anything, it should be a rule of the internet. You have Rule 34. Rule 35. I think there is. Rule 36. If something exists, someone has made it gay, and I am sure that exists of every single property or even anything that's like popular. People think Dream is gay, or at least they did when people cared about Dream. I should make another video where I give my milk toast uneducated opinion on Dream for views. I remember doing that. People used to call him gay, say he was gay, ship him with other real life people. So there was some glazing. People were talking about how good the movie is. Showing their undying brand loyalty, bringing up a DCEU or whatever it's called, and bringing up some shitty movie that Zack Snyder made. Even though it's not even a superhero movie, it was just directed by the person who directed superhero movies, which are the competitor to their favorite brand of superhero movies. These people are insane. These people are insane meat writers for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they were just celebrating the fact that their favorite mediocre film of the year has $1 billion at the box office. And they're saying, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is finally back. We're so back, guys. And people on Twitter, or just on the internet in general, they do this every time Marvel releases like a movie that people care about. I'm sure they did this with the last Spider-Man movie too. They release something that people actually care about, and they actually care enough to like watch, and they're like, Marvel is so back. They're making good movies again. And then they release like 4 consecutive dog shit movies that no one watches, and then they make another good one, and people act like it's like a saved franchise. People are saying Deadpool saved Marvel. They're gonna make 4 more dog shit movies before they make something that's successful again. And we do the entire thing all over again. But anyways, I'm going on a lot of tangents here, but I'm about to get to the point of the video. 7 minutes into its runtime. All right. So some people on this website, on this Forsaken.com, they decided to have a dissenting opinion against the horde of room temperature IQ Marvel fans. They had their own opinion. They dared to think, and they were saying what I was thinking. They were saying what was in my head. They were saying the film was mediocre and it was just nostalgia bait. All right, and you want to know what everyone was saying in the replies? They were just dismissing what these people had to say about the movie they liked. And you want to know what they were saying? They were saying like, you just want to be different, okay? Just let people enjoy things. You stop trying to be different. Have the exact same opinions as us. Don't disagree. I don't want to have a discussion about the movie I like. They just such an insane cope, right? They refuse. They literally refuse to accept the fact that people dislike their film, just like the film in their favorite franchise. Those were my socks. They refused to accept the fact, right, that the movie they liked from the company, the studio, that they meet ride religiously. They refuse to believe that someone can, in good faith, dislike that film. They refuse to believe that. And they think that they're just trying to be different, right? That they have to like force themselves not to like the film so they can have a different opinion instead of them just not liking the film. What kind of cope is that? Literally, what type of cope? What kind of copium do you have to be on to actually think that? To actually think that someone is not able to sincerely dislike a film that you like, and that they have to just be intentionally trying to be different. It is so insanely retarded that they refuse to, in good faith, defend the movie they like against criticism. All right? And you don't have to be some like warrior who comes in with some Ben Shapiro epic facts and logic shit or whatever, saying like, actually this film is actually a cinematic masterpiece. You know, you can just say like, oh yeah, maybe it was kind of bad, but I liked it personally. Because if you like it personally, there's nothing wrong with that. I sure do like some dog shit. All right? I like Limp Bizkit. All right? I am no one to try and grandstand about like what's good art or not. You know, I'm not going to bully you for liking something that's not good. But you know, the fact is that they refuse to in good faith defend the film. And they just, you know, they just dismiss all criticism as just like bad faith contrarian bullshit when it's not. Like literally the things that people are saying was absolutely true. That, you know, that the newest Deadpool movie was just nostalgia bait garbage, you know? It was true, literally true, but they refused to defend the film. No one responded, actually giving an argument to why the film was actually good. And you know, the people who were saying it was bad, they gave an argument. You know, they were willing to actually say the reasons they have the opinion they have. And then the people who think that they're just trying to be different, they can't give an actual reason why the film is good. They just dismiss all criticism. They refuse to acknowledge the fact that people can dislike their film. And it's so pathetic. It is the most pathetic cope on the entire internet. I have absolutely no idea how people can be this immensely retarded that they can, you know, think that there's some kind of conspiracy against their favorite movie from the cape shit people on Reddit or DC fans. You know, our movie is so good, you know, it's impossible for them to even think that it's not good. They have to actually make up reasons to dislike it. It's insane. And you want to know what? People did the exact same thing with what was it? Latest Spider-Verse film. You know, latest Spider-Verse movie. People did the exact same thing. When people are criticizing it, you know, and saying like, I don't know, personally, I didn't like it. You know, I thought, you know, it didn't have an ending. It abruptly stopped in the third act. I thought it was really, you know, poorly paced. I felt like they undercut the drama a lot, you know, with, you know, forced, unfunny jokes that didn't contribute to the plot. They just accused you of trying to be different. They refuse to have a conversation about movies. And you know, it's like, why, what is even stopping you from just talking about a movie? You know? Like, you can just talk about a film. It's not that big a deal. You don't have to, like, plug in your ears and go, no, because, you know, like, why are you so attached to this movie? It's just a film, right? And if you like it, you should be giving the reasons why you like it if you think it's really that good. You know, if you think it's that good, right, and you think that the people saying it's bad, if you think that they're wrong, give a reason, please, and argue in good faith instead of just assuming that the people who disagree with you are just intrinsically bad faith and just don't like it for no reason. Because they dislike it for a reason, and if you want to, you know, make a good argument, right, that it's actually good, you have to make an argument, all right? You can't just say like, no, actually, you're wrong and you're gay and I don't like you. You know, you have to have a reason. And you know what? You could just not engage in the argument to begin with. You could just like ignore it if you really just didn't want to think, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to get into this, you know, Turbo Spurg, you know, blood sports shit about movies. I don't care, all right? Just, if you're going to try and prove that the film is good, give an argument, okay? When I say that I think that the movie was shit, I'm not saying it because I have pathological contrarianism. I'm not saying it because of that. I'm saying it because I watched the film and I did not like it. And there were reasons why I did not like it, and I think that those reasons are pretty valid. And if you're going to tell me that I'm wrong, you have to tell me that the reasons why you thought it was good outweigh the reasons that I thought it was bad. So yeah, that's just my opinion on this. I pinky promise that my next video will actually be edited. I'm making a video about 4chan and why it's mid now. It's kind of in the same style, but I put more effort into it in general, you know, with editing and stuff. But yeah, Bro fished.